Hi, welcome all of you to today's marketing class, and today's topic is competitive strategies. It's going to be very live and very much general in the sense, and most of you who just pay a little attention to thinking about the business in general sense also will get many of ideas and even beyond the strategies that we are going to discuss today. Okay, anyhow, just before going into the today's class, the topic is competitive strategies. Okay, we see that there are so many players in the market. There are so many companies in the market with many more products in the market, but the objective of every company will not be the same. The need of every company will not be the same, and at the same time, the needs of the customers also is not the same. So we see the word difference in the market everywhere. We see the variations in the market everywhere in many aspects. So there are changes or differences in the needs of the customers, and there are differences in all the companies in terms of their objectives or in terms of their objectives. And the same way, uh, the companies who are getting into the market, they are just in the pursuit of different objectives. So when we try to make them uh, categorize, or when we try to categorize them, almost all the companies or all of the companies which are there in the market will be just put in four positions, based on the type of attitude that they have, or based on the type of objectives or the business strategies that they are following. We can make them to sit exactly in four positions. Let's go through every position. So market leader, market challenger, market follower, and market niche, these are the four positions. Let there be n number of companies in the market. Each and every company is going to sit in any one of the positions, as we have gone through, like in any one of these four positions. So all the companies which are there in the market will not be alike. They'll be different in many aspects. So some of the companies may be rich financially, but some may be weak, and some companies may be very strong in the technology, but the other may be weak. And some companies' objectives will differ. The same way, we find the word colors difference in the product in different ways. So let's go through each and every word, try to understand what this position means. So basically, there are four positions in the market into which all the companies which are existing in the market can be thrown or accommodated. Market leader. So market leader is a position held by any company, like which has a line share in the market. So a company which has a huge share in the market, that will be called as a market leader. A market leader, how a company gathers or captures much share in the market is just by their rampant and rapid and very shrewd business acumen. Like their strategies will be different. Their products, whatever it is, they'll have all the superiority. Superiority will be reflected in each and every of their business activity. So they'll be the business leader, market leaders. They'll be the number ones, like what we say, like they'll be the number ones. Like we see TCS in one field, and L&T, Larsen and Toubro, in construction, number one, and IBM in IT, information technology. So this way, there will be some market leaders in each and every industry. So they are the market leaders, but market leaders, in a way, like when we say, like, they're not the superheroes, and there is no accepted principle that each and every business person who is there in the market will be admiring them. No, they're not superheroes. Like they'll be considered, accepted, or followed, or just neglected by each and every company in the market. They have to because of this market leader stands as a benchmark for achievement in any aspect in the business field, in the market especially. So market challenger is the person or is a company which is next to the market leader, and we can say, like, market challengers are the runner-ups in the business, and they'll be just behind market leader in some aspect. Generally, in the aspect of market share, they'll be just little inferior to market leader. And market challenges activity or objective all the times is just to overthrow the market leader. And the market leader's objective all the times will be to be number one in the market. He just keeps on racing himself, competing with his own pace. But whereas market challenger wants to just touch the market leader and overthrow him, and challenger wants to become the leader all the times. And these people also will have very intelligent or nice business acumen just like market leader, but in some angle in terms of market share and in some other angle they may be inferior. But one time the challenger may become the leader, or the leader may become a challenger, or the challenger can remain as a challenger, or the leader can be just a leader forever. But this depends upon their the tactics played, or the stringent strategies that they define, or the craft. And the market follower, this is a different type of group of business people or the companies, where they never look towards the leader or challenger in terms of competing with them or attacking them or something else. Just they keep quiet and they do their business. They will be the imitators, or they'll never be the innovators. But the market leader and challenger will be innovators all the times, and market follower will never be an innovator, and they'll be very weak in R&D, research and development. Just copy or imitate the leader or the challenger, and they take care of their business. This kind of companies are called as market followers. A market niche is something which will occupy, or which will start their business, or get hold, a kind of tight hold in the market segments which have been neglected by all this market leader, challenger, and market followers. Maybe in terms of the size of the market segment is low, or meeting the needs, peculiar requirements of the needs of the customer groups that are there in a particular segment are very different. And thinking like dealing with this kind of customer groups which are there in different specific segments is not going to be beneficial. Generally market leaders or challengers and market followers will never take care of them. That kind of segments will be awkward by the niche, and they'll be just aloof there. They'll just make their own moves, and they'll become strong there, but they'll never be competing with anyone in the markets. But at any cost, as we say, like this position, market leader, challenger, and follower and nisher is not permanent for any one of them. They may just move up in the hierarchy, the ladder, and sometimes the nisher also will become a leader, and he will become a target for somebody else. As a leader is all the times targeted by the challenger. Sometimes the nisher also will become a big giant in a niche market, and he also may be just viewed by somebody else, some big giants in the market, and he also will be targeted. And even the follower, as long as the follower is very strict, and when he's getting more profits, somebody or some future competitive people who are may get an idea that they want to become a competitor for the follower, and he also will be just targeted. So as long as a person or the company which is there in the market, and it should not feel, considering their present position as a niche or follower, they are very happy and they can be cool in life, like throughout their business life. It's not guaranteed. Business or the market keeps changing, and the positions also keep changing. And let's get into in detail, like what kind of different strategies these four positions will be adapting in the market. And let's think about competitive strategies for different positions. Let's look into market leader. Market leader, we know that is a person or it's a company which is having a big share in the market, and actually they'll be considered as number one in the market. And it's very important to think that as he being a leader, he'll be just having only one strategy, and it's not correct. Based on the situation at the time, they have to keep changing their strategies. Now we have to understand that the strategy is something which changes based on the situation. And in a real life situation, uh, when we fight with somebody else, we may head on fight with somebody else head on. But whereas in business, it won't be like that. you know each and every movement, like whether we attack head on, or when we sidetrack, or when we take back, or when we retreat, or when we hide out, or when we attack them in a different way, like in each and every move there is wisdom. There is a central, there is a central point, the central theme, that welfare of the company is there. It's not like vengeance that's being followed in the personal life. So the first strategy that is generally considered by market leader is the position defense strategy. As the name itself is a market leader wants to be number one in the market all the times. So whether he is being followed, whether he is being challenged or not, or followed or not, whether there is a future threat or not, but the market leader will never retire himself, keep quiet himself peacefully. He keeps on doing some things, uh, getting into different markets, and making different innovative products, entering into the market, and different tactics he plays, and he always wants to occupy more share in the market. Is very much, what I say, like development conscious. This way the position defense strategy will be the different position defense strategy is just to defend his position as number one in the market. He keeps on doing some good things, uh, to add up something good things, in the sense like to add up something, some value to his position in the market. Next is flanker strategy. Is just a market leader. A company is a market leader. We cannot think that, we should not think that each and every product that is there in the product line and the product mix of this company will be very very big product, or very very strong brand, or something like that. Now there will be, obviously, each and every company will have some strong brands and some weaker brands. Whenever a market leader has some weaker brands, generally this will be sensed by the market challenger who is next to the market leader, and he just attacks the market leader in that particular market segment, where his market leader is promoting the weak products, weak brands, and this will be sensed by the market leader. And in order to escape the effect of the attack of the market challenger, or to retreat, to make him disappointed, he just releases some other brands or products which are called as flanker brands or flanker products, and targeting it for different customer groups with different specifications, and offering them different things, like higher value, higher price, and higher quality will be just given to them. Is that the releasing of the flanker products in the flanker strategy is for two reasons. One is to disappoint the challenger and making him a failure in his own attack, or whenever, if the challenger is successful in taking the share of the market leader, with this flanker brand, he is going to occupy some other customer market segments. This way it is going to enhance his market share. And next is confrontation strategy. Generally, like market leader, whenever he thinks that, whenever in case of a big market leader, like very strong market leader, he comes to know that some challenger is going to attack him, he keeps quiet generally, and in most of the cases, and he lets the challenger to attack on him, and he just experiences, or measures or evaluates the effect of the challenger's attack on him, and then he takes the retaliation. But in case of some market leaders, where they may be very weak in some market segments, and they will never take a chance to letting the market challenger to attack on him, and see the effect. But in advance they'll be just getting ready, with by making some counter strategies, or by making some changes in the strategies, or some making some differences, or showing some differences or changes in their own product or marketing activities. They'll be getting ready themselves in advance. This is quite possible. Sensing of uh, market challenges, attack in advance is quite possible in case of when a leader has strong competitive intelligence systems, or market intelligence systems is there. So in case of having this kind of superior technologies, or efficient facilities, the company will be ready, the market leader will be ready with this kind of thing. Market expansion market expansion strategy. Sometimes company uh, takes some decisions to get into uh, different market segments. Instead of offering different products for different customers in the same segment, it tries to get into some other segments and occupy more market share. It's a kind of the intrinsic activity, intrinsic meaning of what market leader is. It keeps on expanding its own market share. Strategic withdrawal or contraction strategy is that we already discussed that being a company just a market leader in the market, it won't we cannot consider him just like a kind of a hero. He just takes retaliation on each and every enemy, like in all the occasions. It's not that. In business it's quite different. Sometimes whenever a challenger attacks on a market leader in some segments, where the market leader thinks that it's not easy to escape the attack of the challenger, and if the company sense any future loss in that particular market segment, he generally retreats his all marketing resources. It's a kind of leashing the marketing activities and concentrating in some other areas or segments where it feels it's safe game kind of thing. And this is that withdrawing all the resources. So he may be probably just stopping its promotion of business activities in some segments. Generally, its strategic withdrawal is quite possible with most of the market leaders. Is that a challenger who is going to attack on market leader in particular segments, he is intelligently attacks them in those particular market segments where uh, market leaders comparatively weaker in that area, in those segments. So hence the market leader intelligently attacks them in those particular areas, and in those particular market segments usually are usually the market leader withdraws all his strategies or business processes and he concentrates in some other areas. And these are general strategies played by market leader. Let's look into market challenger. We know that market challenger is a next person. Is just equal to the market leader, but maybe in some aspects is inferior to the market leader. Maybe in terms of in a visible parlance, in a visible parameters, is just inferior to market leader in terms of market share. And he also quite commonly, just like market leader, follows many strategies based on the situation. And the one is frontal attack. See, in frontal attack strategy, in the leapfrog strategy and flank attack strategy, the market challenger, understand, make it a point that market challenger all the times is going to attack on the market leader, not on the follower or anybody else. Market challenger is going all the times, keeps in mind attacking the market share of the market leader only. In frontal attack strategy, leapfrog strategy, flank attack strategy, market challenger feels that, understands that, identifies that so many market segments are unexploited by the market leader or some other players there. So when there are many unexploited market segments are left over just like that, market challenger tries to attack the market leader. In case of frontal attack, he just attacks on a market leader by providing low prices on their products and positioning their product differently. In the leapfrog strategy, he just uh, goes for providing his own product with different attributes than the competitor. And in flank attack strategy, he just goes on being fragments in several primary segment being captured by focusing on an expert. See, in this case, is going to provide the same product with different promotional strategies. And in encirclement strategies, the challenger is encirclement strategy is something where the market challenger is going to attack the market leader in several segments, or more than one segment at a time is called as market challenger. Here also he feels that uh, attacking on the market leader is best, by showing some differences in terms of the product. In encirclement strategy, the challenger is going to release different products for different market segments. This way, he's going to make the market leader breathless. In all the frontal attack and leapfrog strategy, flank attack, and the encirclement strategy is going to attack the market leader by showing some variations in terms of product, prices, advertisement, sales promotion, and attacking the product, attacking the leader in many places at a time with the different products. And guerrilla attack is something which is it's a final resort for market challenger to attack a market leader. Is that in this particular situation or the strategy, the market challenger finds no market or no segment or no product or no customer is untouched by the market leader. And in this case, what he does is he needs to expand the business, he needs to do the business. So but there is no other go for him to go for any unexploited segments. All the segments are occupied, all the products are occupied, and every strategy is everything is just done by the market leader. In this case, he gives a sudden surprise by going for price cuts and going for price going for price cuts. It's a kind of it's a war of prices and luring promotional offers. Is that based on price cuts and going for sales promotional activities? He just wants to uh, attack on market leader. It's a kind of uh, unethical kind of nearly unethical kind of, or it's not a good kind of marketing strategy. But as there is no other go for the market challenger, he just concentrates on price cuts and sales promotions just in the beginning itself. And this is the market follower. And even a follower, when we say like market follower also has a strategies. And we, by the word, we mean that market follower is a person who never concentrates on anybody, and and he just take care of his business. But even then, as we said, in business we can't find a place without competition. Like he also needs to have his own strategies uh, to go forward. And there are some strategies he just in case of market follower also, position defense strategy. And as name gives, like he has to take care of his own position in the market. Like he's not going to compete with anybody, or he's not going to attack on anybody, but keeping in mind his future development, and somebody may target him in the future. So he wants to build a kind of fortress around his business, around his business, with all the strengths. Like he wants to all the times wants to be very strong in terms of his product and its futures and brand equity, or positioning process, or taking care of customer needs, or even providing customer services. In all these things, he wants to be very very strong, keeping in mind future attacks. Mind about the future attacks. This is called position defense strategy. Mobile defense strategy is that he is not going to attack on anybody else in this strategy. Also, he it's that he wants to make the task of his attackers a difficult one, by making himself moving from place to place, or by making his own strategies changing all the times in terms of product price, advertisements, or placements, or distribution, or any other things. He make his own objectives in the market. He keeps changing his own strategies. Is that it is just to make the make himself as a moving object for future hunters, like attackers. And flank position strategy, counter offensive strategy, is that whenever somebody else, like he, basically the follower will not attack on anybody else. But even in case anybody attacks on him in future, like at a point of time, he just will be intelligently, just as he's not going to spend much time on R&D or innovation kind of things. He finds much more time than the market leader or challenger. He spends the time in understanding the weaknesses of his competitors in the market, or weaknesses of all the business people, like the leaders and the challenges in the market. So he will have a book of records of all the weaknesses of all different companies. In case in future, if anybody is sensed as attacking him, he just immediately attacks on him on his own weaker points. So this is called counteroffensive strategy. Contraction defense strategy is just like in case when the market leader also withdraws his marketing resources and stops his promotions or doing business in some segments. The same way the market follower also, whenever he feels that it's going to be a tough task, or it's going to be a losing game to continue business in some particular segments, he just withdraws all the things, or he just contracts his own activities, and he enters into some other segments where he feels less vulnerable. And this is what different strategies followed by market followers. And lastly, like even for the niches also, there is a there are three kinds of strategies. We know the niche is something, uh, these are the business people or the companies which will do business with in segments which are being neglected by all the players in the market, are the companies which are there in three different positions. Maybe in terms of, like, it's being felt by those companies in terms of market share inferiorly, felt by them inferiorly in terms of market share, or future expansion opportunities, or prices, or less profitable, or something else, like, but this will be taken as a full-time business by some companies, and they go and concentrate there, and just they'll be just concentrating there on his own, on their own product, as in case of follower, and they also will be just taking care of their own business, and they'll be never thinking about the rest of the positions in the market. And even for them also, there will be three strategies. These strategies are not for fighting against somebody else, protecting their own niche market, creating niches. And so all the times they just they try to create some new niche markets in the in the industry, and they try to expand their niches by adding some products, or making different uses for them, their existing products, and making them beneficial, or showing them, or displaying them, as depicting them as very much beneficial to the customers. And this way they try to expand their niches and protecting their niches. This also is that, as initially, like as we thought, no position in the market is permanent. Even the niche also will be targeted sometimes. Even a niche, if he's very strong in the market, and in his own niche market, and when the outsiders feel that it's going to be very beneficial for them to get into that niche market, they obviously, even the market challenger also target the niche. In that case, the niche, though he's not going to attack on anybody else, he should be at least ready to protect himself, like defend himself. That's called protecting niches. He will be just having his own strategies or plans, how to protect his niche market. These are all different, marketing strategies being followed by different positions, are the four positions in the market. And this all, this is a very short lesson today. We're going to meet tomorrow with some other topic. Thank you.